Hey guys, Thornton here with the review of the new keyboard from Corsair, which is called the K60 RGB Pro SE. This is their new mid-range offering. It definitely brings some new and fresh things to the table from Corsair, which is nice to see, and so far pretty impressed with it, especially in comparison to some of their older models. It also is using that new Cherry Viola Switch, which is pretty sweet. So let's hop into the actual review now. Starting off with that design and build quality, as is per usual with like every keyboard from Corsair ever, it isn't that full-size layout. For me personally, I think I would like it a lot more if I did have the option, of cutting off that number pad. Just a TKL, it'd be really nice to see Corsair give us some different size options. I feel like it would appeal to more people, but obviously it's not gonna be an issue for everyone. Just for me, I don't use a number pad, and having that smaller form factor, freeing up some more space in my desk is definitely something I really like to look for in a keyboard, and that definitely does not give that to me. But for a lot of you guys who like the number pad, it is included on here, and you're gonna get all the normal functionality you'd expect with the full-size keyboard. Looking at the frame itself, we get that very familiar brushed aluminum top plate, which though it does look sleek and nice, it definitely does pick up like finger oils, holds dust in those grooves, so you'll find yourself cleaning it a lot, especially if you're someone that likes your keyboard to be very clean. It's always been something that's kind of drove me crazy with the Corsair keyboards. It's just how badly the top frame does hold on to stuff. You'll find yourself trying to wipe it out, and it feels like you just can't get it out of there very easily. So yeah, top aluminum plate, the bottom is plastic, but overall this thing is built like a tank. I mean, super solid, definitely no flex in it, no worry about it breaking down you anytime soon. You do get an included wrist rest in the box, which is a really nice wrist rest, one of the better ones I've used. It's like a plush leatherette, very comfortable. They did slap a logo like right in the middle of it, which I don't really understand why. It's kind of annoying. It would have been nice just to have it all uniform so you don't have anything standing out. It does magnet to it very easily though, these tabs, very easy to pop in, take out. The only issue I did have with it is, I'm not someone who uses wrist rests a lot, so this might just be on my end, is the angle it puts my hands at. It's like almost the opposite way than I feel like it should be. It's like I'm angled down towards the keyboard like this, and it felt really weird for me personally. Maybe it won't be an issue for you guys. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Just when I normally use wrist rests, I feel like it's either level or a little bit down angle like this. So typing downwards like this did not feel right for me. So I haven't used it much, but overall, like, it feels nice on the hands and is very soft and plush. The stock cable with the board is a rubber one, and sadly it is fixed into the back. So it'd be really great to see Corsair kind of get with the times here, with where basically every other keyboard is, and integrate an actual detachable cable in the back, not only, giving you the chance of being able to swap it out or easily swap out other keyboards with it, which being able to pop the cable in the back, but also giving support for those of you that like to use custom cables. So yes, it is a bummer. Obviously it's not a deal breaker. It still functions just as a normal keyboard would, but it'd be really nice to have that functionality included with the board stock out of the box and not having to have it fixed into the back of it itself. Looking at the bottom of the keyboard though, you do get 4 rubber feet, which so far have held it really nicely on my desk. No issues with it sliding around or anything. Then you do get 2 flip out legs on the back, if I can speak. Then you can give you one level of adjustability as far as the incline goes. So if you guys like to pop it up into an incline for gaming or for typing, then it's available to you. They are using a standard bottom row in the K60. So for those of you who like to pop your own keycaps on here, that'll now be a lot easier with that standard bottom row. For the stock ones though, they are pretty stinking nice. They're just a double shot PVC, have that kind of standard grippy texture to them, and I've never had any issues with them. I think that Corsair does have nice keycaps. Under those keycaps, you're gonna find those new Cherry Viola switches, which definitely have a unique look as well as feel to them. They are linear in feel, and because of that too, they are decently quiet. They definitely have a weird kind of plasticky, like high-pitched noise to them, which I'll go ahead and just throw you guys into a sound test now so you can hear it for yourselves. So far, I have really enjoyed using them and typing on them. The main thing with them is they do get kind of fatiguing to type on, and it's mainly due to how they have the contact system in them. It's very unique. So it takes like your pretty average 2 millimeters to travel to get the actuation, and then about 45 cent-newtons of force, which is pretty general across linear switches. We see those statistics a lot across them, but the unique thing about them is they have 2 millimeters more of post-travel after that, and for the complete bottom out of the switch itself, it takes up to 75 cent-newtons of force. And for for me personally, and probably for a lot of you guys, like I've always bottomed out in my keystrokes, so it's very difficult for me to get used to like, you know, half tapping on them versus like going to the bottom out. So when you're like, you know, bottoming out every time, you're going up to that 75 newtons of force versus the 45. So I found it got me a lot more tired as far as just my fingers and fatigue, especially when I'm used to a little bit lighter switch like my normal linear switches I use. So it's definitely something unique, and it's different from like a normal mechanical switch. I mean, this still is a normal mechanical switch, but as far as having the difference in force depending on how far down you're pushing is different from normal one. So it might be right for you guys. For me personally, I would just rather use a different switch than use these, but it's definitely something different. And obviously with the construction of the switch, it's different from a normal mechanical switch. They're able to reduce the parts in there, so you do get more plastic, like surface area rubbing on each other, which I do think is why you're kind of getting that more like high-pitched plasticky noise in it, which it does make it sound a little bit cheaper, I would say, and it doesn't feel the best. I don't like the noise of it. So overall, like I think the Cherry Viola does serve a purpose in being that more budget-friendly switch for some keyboard companies to use, but for me personally, it's just not my thing. Just quickly touching on the stabilizers, they're definitely better than they used to be in some of Corsair's older keyboards. I mean, if you've heard like the space bar in some of their older models, it definitely sounded a lot worse than they do in this one. There's still some rattle present, some unevenness present, but in comparison to those older ones, sounds better overall. As far as the lighting controls on the keyboard itself goes, those are all going to be controlled in the IQ software, and I definitely think that software could just use a facelift. I find it's like looked the same for so many years now, but you can switch between different effects in there, your colors, your speed of your effects, and all that good stuff. So pretty easily done in there. It'd just be nice to see them maybe give it a facelift and some more options. Overall, I think this is a good offering, especially in comparison to some of Corsair's older keyboards, and definitely a step in the right direction. I feel it would be great to see a lot of changes on this. I would love to see a detachable cable on the back. I don't think we need a fixed cable, and especially with where the market's moving, I feel like everyone's, you know, trying to customize their keyboard more and more, like in every way they can, and having a fixed cable in the back definitely kind of eliminates, you know, a big part of that. Having those custom cables, I would love to see them maybe give different switch choices, hot swap, that'd be amazing, different form factors. I just feel like Corsair, like when you get a Corsair keyboard, you know it's well built. I mean, they all feel like tanks. I mean, they're very heavy, got that aluminum top plate, you know, there's no worries about it breaking down anytime in the future. They just feel kind of chintzy on the top part, like not great sound profile, pretty pingy, and you get that aluminum top plate ringing off of that. You don't have the best stabilizers. I just feel like they could do a lot better job with it. The Cherry Viola Switch definitely brings something more unique to the table. I'm not a big fan of it. It sounds plastic, makes it kind of feel cheaper than it should be, especially when you have a nice chassis that it's built on top of. Overall, I just feel like it needs more, and if they did make some of those what I would feel like would be pretty simple changes, and like if they look around at the market, basically every other keyboard is making those changes or already has that with them. I feel like they would appeal to a much wider audience and be able to sell these out a lot quicker, but a good offering. If you love Corsair keyboards, this is better than their old ones, but otherwise I would just go with something else. Thank you guys very much for watching the video. If you did find it helpful or informative, hit that like button for me, and do consider subscribing for more content just like this in the very near future. Any questions about the board or my time using it, definitely let me know in the comments down below, but I'll see you guys in the next video.